Good morning, everyone. It's Mr. Martin here with your grammar lesson for today, March 23rd, 2020. I hope that you all are doing well, and I'm so happy that you've tuned in today to get your grammar lesson. So let's get right in there. For today, we're going to be starting with the first page of your writing grammar. So it's page 58 right here, and the title is Rain Falling in the Sonoran Desert. I'll give you a couple seconds to get that situated. You'll also need something to write with. Alrighty, so the first thing that we do whenever we get a new grammar passage on the first day is we need to figure out if we're revising or editing. And in order to figure that out, we need to read the directions. Now, before we get into the directions, I want to give you a quick recap for those who may have forgotten what the difference is between revising and editing. Revising is what we do when we want to make our writing sound better. So we want to make it sound a little bit more sophisticated. We want to make it sound a little bit more 5th, 6th, 7th grade ready. Editing is what we do when we want to make our writing look better. We want to make sure all of our words are spelled correctly. We have capitalization, punctuation. That's editing side. So for revising, you're adding, removing, moving, or substituting something based on if it fits the topic of what you're writing about. And in for editing, you're capitalizing, you're looking at your usage, your punctuation, and your spelling. So as you get a passage, you're going to be doing one or the other of these, sometimes both, depending on the passage. So today we're going to look at this passage and figuring out what we're doing, if we're revising or editing, and then are we doing cups or are we doing arms? Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Ethan wrote about the weather in the Sonoran Desert, a desert that covers much of Arizona and some of Southern California. Read Ethan's paper and think about how it should be revised. Then answer the questions that follow. Read his paper and think about how it should be revised. I see a word there. What word is it? What word is it? If you said revised, you are correct. So how should it be revised? And revised, same thing as revise, right? Past tense version. So we know we're doing arms. A-R-M-S. So as I'm reading this whole passage, I'm going to think, do I need to add something, remove something, move, or substitute something based on what we just read, right? Because we're doing arms for this passage. So before we can get to any questions, it's really important, that's better, that we know what the passage is about, right? When we're revising, we have to know what the central idea is to know if we need to add, remove, move, or substitute something. So we're going to read through this one time, and I want you thinking as I'm reading, if you can pick out what is the central idea. What is this passage mainly talking about? So I'm going to write it right here. Give myself some space. When many people think of Arizona's Sonoran Desert, they think of a very dry place. However, this desert does in fact get rain. True, it does not get rain very much throughout the year. During the summer, huge rain clouds often form over southern Arizona. Then, it rains a lot in a short period of time. Normally, the winds in Arizona come from the west. During the summer, the winds shift to the southeast and south. This shift brings it in, and it is water in the air from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico that it brings. When the water mixes with the heat coming off the desert, watch out because these really big clouds form. As the clouds rise, thunderstorms appear. The rain from these thunderstorms affects the Sonoran Desert in many ways. Rain helps the desert plants like the saguaro cactus. It also helps the animals that live in the desert. The desert rain even helps shape the land. By feeding rivers like the Colorado River and the Gila River, summer rains help erode rocks, creating canyons and other beautiful natural features. Beautiful. So, when I'm picking out the central idea, I'm thinking about what did this whole thing basically talk about. And for this passage, we're kind of in luck because the title helps us. Rain falling in the Sonoran Desert. What about this rain, right? So this whole thing says, it doesn't rain much, but in the summer, right? In the summer, the rain comes and huge cloud forms. This whole paragraph, okay, the winds bring the rain in. This is because of the winds, okay. And in this paragraph I'm looking through, and it's telling me kind of what the rains do, right? The rains help the desert, it helps the animals, it helps shape the land, okay? So if I were to think of a central idea for all three, what does each paragraph tell me? And what is the central idea? I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to think of that on your own before I write mine. Okay, so the first thing I noticed was the rain. Rain, it doesn't rain much, but then it rains a lot. The rains come in summertime. The winds bring the rain, and the rain helps. Okay, so all these words that I repeated, I'm going to try to include them in my central idea. So maybe rain comes to the Sonoran desert in summer because of the shift in winds. Okay. This rain helps the desert. So again, rain comes to the Sonoran desert in summer because of the shift in winds. This rain helps the desert. I don't need to go into too many details about how it helps the desert, but I feel like I've covered all the things. Rain's coming, wind shift, which brings the rain, and then it helps the desert. I think now we're ready to go ahead and revise, because now we know what the central idea of this paragraph, or this passage, is going to be. Let's go ahead and look at questions 1, 2, and 3 today. And think about, based off of that central idea, is there anything I need to add, remove, move, or substitute? Also based off the questions that they're asking me. So let's look at question number 1 first. What is the best way to combine sentences 3 and 4? I'm going to read it one more time. What is the best way to combine sentences 3 and 4? So you know Mr. Martin always loves to make sure that he understands what the question's asking me. So I'm combining sentences 3 and 4. And I remember when I'm combining something, if I'm combining something, I'm trying to make sure I'm not repeating too many words, and I'm trying to make sure I have a complete sentence. Also, when we combine, sometimes we use these things called fanboys to combine our sentences. We don't always have to have them, but a lot of times we do. And I'm already kind of seeing some fanboys here, so I must use one probably because every sentence here has a fanboy. So for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So thinking about which fanboy makes sense. Now let's go back and read sentences 3 and 4 because we don't need to memorize it. We can always go back and read it, right? True, it does not rain very much throughout the year. During the summer, huge rain clouds often form over southern Arizona. Okay. Doesn't rain much throughout the year. In the summer, it rains. So these are saying two different things. It's saying here it doesn't rain. However, in the summertime, huge rain clouds form. So I'm thinking if I have to use a fanboy, which one will help me when I have conflicting ideas or opposite ideas? Think about that for about 10 seconds. Which one helps you when you have opposite ideas? If you said, but, you are correct. Think about this. I am very hungry, but I don't have any food, right? Even though I'm hungry, I don't have any food. They're conflicting things. This is saying it doesn't rain very much throughout the year, but in the summertime, it rains a lot. So let's see if we can find that fanboy or find another sentence maybe that is even better. True, it does not rain very much throughout the year, since during summer, huge rain clouds often form over southern Arizona. That fanboy is since. And I think for that one, since doesn't make sense because it's not just raining since it's summer. We know that the rains come because of the wind shift, right? That's not fair. That's not true. True, it does not rain very much throughout the year or during the summer. Huge rain. Or during the summer? No. It says it does rain during the summer. So that doesn't make sense. True, it does not rain very much throughout the year. So during the summer, huge rain clouds often form over the southern Arizona. So it's saying that the rain clouds form because it doesn't rain much through the year? But we talked about in that second paragraph, it doesn't rain because what? Yes, because of the shift of winds. So that doesn't make sense either. True, it does not rain very much throughout the year, but during the summer, huge rain clouds often form over southern Arizona. Well, it has the fanboy we were already looking for, and it's telling you, even though it doesn't rain in the year, in the summer it rains, right? But it rains in the summer. So this one will be our best choice. We always have to include our proof, and I'm going to give you a couple seconds to include your proof, and then I'm going to share what I put. All right. So we knew all these were wrong, and I'm going to put I know because but is used to combine opposite statements. Okay? But is used to combine opposite statements. Doesn't rain very much. In the summer it rains. Those are opposite statements. But is the only fanboy that works there. Let's go ahead to number 2. What would be the best way to rewrite the ideas in sentence 8? Okay, so what is the best way to rewrite sentence 8? So I'm going to be substituting something probably if I'm rewriting it. So again, not a memorization test. Let me go back and look at sentence 8, see what it said. This shift brings it in, and it is water in the air in the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico that it brings. Whew! Already reading that, there was some weird stuff going on in there. I think the it's. So many it's. But what is it describing? Let's go back and see. Normally the winds in Arizona come from the west. During the summer the winds shift. The wind, the shift of the wind. Okay, so all these it's, they're not talking about what it means. So let's see if we can eliminate some of these it's and make the sentence a little clearer. What this shift does is bring in water in the air from the Pacific Ocean, while at the same time it brings in water in the air from the Gulf of Mexico too. Well, that sentence seems just as long and confusing as the other one. Also, this shift, okay, in the air, it just seems long and repeated. So I'm going to cross that one out. I don't think that's the strongest answer. It seems a little bit long and it's repeating the same phrases. This shift brings in water in the air from the Pacific Ocean, and this shift also brings in water in the air from the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so this shift brings in, this shift also, so they repeated that, the shift is repeated twice, okay? And then in the air, when we're combining sentences or rewriting sentences, we're going to make them concise. We don't need to repeat things, so that one, that's out too. Bringing in water in the air from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, this shift brings it in. Well, that just sounds awkward because this shift brings what in? This shift brings in water in the air from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. This shift brings in water. Nothing's repeated, and it's telling me what the wind shift does. I think that's the best answer. Go ahead and write your I know because. All right, so I put I know because there are no repeated words and it is a complete sentence. So the others were repeating words, and this one wasn't really a full complete sentence, so that's my I know because. Check and see if yours is similar. And let's move on. So last one for today, question number 3. Ethan wants to add a topic sentence to the beginning of the paragraph, containing sentences 6 through 10. Which would be the best topic sentence for this paragraph? What's the best topic sentence for this paragraph, 6 through 10? So topic sentence is like, what is the paragraph talking about, right? So think about like the main idea or the big idea of that sentence. What is that sentence talking about, right? Or sorry, that paragraph talking about. Let's go back and look at sentences 6 through 10. Normally the winds in Arizona come from the west. During the summer, the winds shift to the southeast and south. This shift brings it in, and it is water in the air from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico that it brings. When the water mixes with the heat coming off the desert, watch out because these really big clouds form, and as the clouds rise, thunderstorms appear. Yes, so that's the section that's teaching us how the winds shift and what that shift does, right? So the shift brings the rain. So that section is kind of explaining why the rains come in summer. So why the rains come in summer. That's what it's explaining. So before we even go through these, I want you to take about 10 seconds and see, do you find an answer choice that explains that topic sentence, why the rains come in summer? All right, let's go through them one by one. These rains bring water to the Grand Canyon. Does that answer the question why the rains come in summer? No. It tells you what the rains do, but not why. Snow often falls in the mountains of Arizona. Does that tell you why the rains come in summer? Nope. Arizona is bordered by California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Mexico. Doesn't tell me why the rains come. The rains come because of a shift in the wind. Ding, 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 ding. That's answering a why question. So I know because. What's yours? So I put I know because this sentence explains why the rain come. Thank you so much, 4th grade, for being with me today. I hope that you got a lot out of our lesson, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday where we go through the next 3 questions in our passage. Have a great day.